Alright, welcome back. Up to this point, we just reached Redcliffe. We closed a few Fade Rifts along the way. And while we're here, I'm going to do some side questing. We're supposed to be meeting Fiona, who stopped us on the way out of Valrayo and said, hey, you might want to come talk to us to ally with you to deal with this breach thing. She was the, head enchanter or head enchantress, whatever, of the Mage Circle, but, of course, the Mage Circle, they've all rebelled, and they've essentially disbanded. Thus, when we talked to Vivian, why she said she'd like to have the circle restored for some discipline to the mages, because mages left to their own power and their own devices are doing, well, what they're doing now. So anyway, we'll
remain standing after such abuse.
We'll go try to talk to Fiona, see what's up. We'll get there eventually. I want to do some side stuff first, though. I don't know what part of this might be cut off for me later in the game. So I want to go ahead and get most of this out of the way now, while I can. At the crossroads, Corporal Vale talked about needing a healer, and the healer is here. And that's why I was saying I needed some Royal Elf Root and some Crystal Grace. I really like the name of that flower. That's cool, Crystal Grace. I think that's really cool. Anyway, needed a few of those, so I think I have enough to give her everything she needs. She eventually has 3... what would you call stages to her little quest or whatever. She needs items to make healing potions and stuff out of, apparently. And it's something I could fulfill later, also.
Do you believe in the Maker?
Yes. Some of it's a bit off, but wait, why?
I just thought, the way you've lived.
What? I don't belong because I never joined some holy whatever?
But you're a thief.
I take back. And you kill people.
True, but only those I must.
Ones who deserve it. Right, we're real different.
I don't know that they necessarily dislike each other.
Alistair grew up at Redcliffe. He used to play in the fields outside this very village. And now the boy, who once begged me to make him toy soldiers, rules all of Ferelden.
Tell me about your people.
They say a spirit dwells in a small lake south of the highway. The girls of the village bring it daisies and ask for love, but rarely does it listen. For 'tis a spirit of valor, not love, and it favors blood lotus flowers.
Alright, good to know. It's a good thing I happen to have a few of those in my pocket. We'll go check that out. That lake is close to where we just met Blackwall not too long ago, but if we'd have had this active already, we could have done that while we were there, but 6 of one, half dozen of another. It doesn't really matter. We can just go back there. It's just right next to one of the camps that we've already found anyway, so biggie. 2 doors that we're going to need the Deft Hands perk for. Now this healer, to make sure all these quests register, I'm going to go ahead and talk to her back out, talk to her.
Too many people dying for want of simple herbs. My apologies. Can I help you?
Are you running short of healing herbs?
Yes. We've many injured from attacks by those cursed Templars. I need the herbs to treat people's wounds. It's too dangerous to go hunting through the hills to gather more. I've a list there of the herbs I need.
Goodbye.
Stay safe out there.
Alright, so get the list, and turn them in, and kind of rinse and repeat this same process here.
I found some of the herbs you were looking for.
This is exactly what I needed.
Are you running short of healing herbs?
Yes, I need them to keep wounds from going bad. It's too dangerous to go hunting through the hills to gather more. I've a list there of the herbs I need.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much for your help.
And she essentially repeats the same thing. I try to be kind of careful on ones like this where you turn in multiple things in order, because sometimes quests like this in games, they tend to not register everything, and they can glitch, or you won't get credit for something, you know, things like that.
I found some of the herbs you were looking for.
Thank you.
Not that I've experienced that here, but just to be on the safe side.
Healing herbs.
Yes, I need them to keep wounds from going bad. It's too dangerous. dangerous to go hunting through the hills to gather more. I've a list there.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Alright, anyway. Nothing but repeating the same thing. Okay, and this is the one we need the Crystal Grace for. Alright. Yep, 2 Crystal Grace and some Spindleweed.
A pleasure to see you again.
I found some of the herbs you were looking for.
Yes, these are perfect.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much for your help.
Alright, now if I can talk her into helping the refugees, she'll become the healer that Corporal Vale was looking for, but I believe if I have Solus in my group, he can pass a speech check with her and even gain some favor with him. So you know what? I'm going to go switch out my party anyway. No problem. I'm fixing to go to one of the camps. May even head back to Haven, not sure. But let me get the rest of the quest down here. While I have Sarah in my party also, I want to go talk to an individual down here at the end of the pier, because there's a way to get a few brownie points with her. And those are a little harder to come by early on, so...
It was so real. For the first time in all these years, I fear I will not be visiting your ashes. What world is this? That demons and brigands stop a man from taking flowers to his wife's shrine.
What if I took flowers to your wife's shrine for you?
I do not know what to say, except thank you. I never expected anyone not of the blood to care. My Senna would be grateful. Her shrine lies on a hill to the west, near the Tablestones. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Walk in peace.
Well, of course I care. I mean, taking those flowers is easily as, if not more important, than closing any old silly breach in the sky. I mean, seriously, flowers? You kidding me? In fact, I'd stop everything I'm doing just to go do that right now.
Did you hear the news?
I'm pleased to hear it.
Alright, apparently we already know that codex, but it's free XP, so take it. I don't wonder if sometimes you can unlock a codex in a dialogue and then find the book about that same thing and get credit for it a second time. Which appears to be what happened there, because whatever that book was about, I apparently already knew it, because it didn't show anything. It just showed I got some experience points for it. So. This is one door we can actually open here right now.
Every ocularum is made from the skull of a tranquil.
Every skull was... No, done thinking about it. Done.
I had hoped they were safe with the rebel mages. I see that I was mistaken.
I had wondered where they had gone. I should have looked harder.
I'm sorry, I don't even think that's really blood magic. That's just... mages just killing the tranquil just because. It's not the Templars doing that, that's the mages doing that. I don't know if there was a point where I ever found it really hard to defend a mage, but now, based on their history and their continuous actions, and as badly as their actions, all the bad results from their behavior, and then they just do it again anyway, and the only answer they ever find to any of their problems is to summon demons and turn to blood magic and kill everything and blow everything up, and that's their answer for everything, and it never works, and it ends badly. It started the first blights, and it's gone downhill ever since, and they still haven't learned, and they keep doing it. So, I mean, there's a definition for that. You know, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, knowing it's not going to happen, that's insanity. That's the actual psychological definition of insanity, and that's what they do. And it's all the time.
You, Connor?
You've heard the story, I guess.
I can't believe King Alistair thought Redcliffe was the right place to send the mages. I mean, he grew up here. Did he think they would just forget what I did to them?
You were behind the siege of Redcliffe 10 years ago.
That's me. The boy with Redcliffe's blood on his hands.
If I were you, I wouldn't have set foot in Redcliffe again unless I was dragged in chains.
And there's the brownie points with
I had nowhere
Sarah.
else to go. When we closed the circles, every city shut its doors to us. There was nowhere else to go. I hate it. I can feel the blood on the stones, even if I can't see it.
Why isn't Al-Eman in power anymore?
After the lands meet, he stayed in Denerim. I couldn't be his heir, not after what happened. So eventually he passed the title to Uncle Tegan.
How did you end up in the Mage Rebellion?
I was living in the Ferelden Tower when the circles dissolved. I voted against it, but at first it seemed all right. No one was summoning demons. They just wanted to oversee themselves. But then the Magister came, and it's wrong what they do in Tevinter. We are monsters. We need to be controlled. If it wasn't for me, every family in this village wouldn't be missing a son, a daughter, a spouse.
You're not in favor of the alliance with Tevinter.
Alliance? Is that what they're calling it? That Magister threw my uncle out into the street. He signed us into servitude. This is my home. Redcliffe, Ferelden. No matter what evils I've done, I would never have invited Tevinter here.
I need to be going.
Please, talk some sense into the Grand Enchanter. Selling out to the Imperium won't win us any friends. We have to find a way to make peace.
Okay. Alright, so that was the son of the Arl. The Arl who is now here no longer. Rebel mages here have essentially taken over Redcliffe for the time being.
Did you hear the news? Yes.
Please, are you with the Inquisition? As you've wandered, have you by any chance seen a ram that is, different? Lord Wolseley wandered off, and he's very special. If you could find him, I'd be most grateful.
What makes your ram so special?
Well, he's always brought the family luck, and his advice helped us make our fortune.
Your ram offered advice.
He's a very special ram.
Lord Wolseley.
Your ram has gone missing.
Yes. I'm certain that if he heard his Jimmy missed him, he'd come right back. He's likely at our family's old summer cabin. It's by the lake in the southern hills. If you do find him and send him back, I'd be happy to pay you.
I'll speak with you later.
If you find my ram, please send him home.
Alright, we were actually headed that way anyway. We actually saw that that ram. It's a golden ram. We were there before, right after we got Blackwell, but weren't able to catch up to him. Then bandits and bears got in our business, so... Alright, this counts as one of the songs you can unlock. I think there's like 21 of them, or 23, something like that. I believe that's one of them. I had a really, really good debate with some people in the in one of the groups that I'm in on Facebook. Yeah, I think it's Dragon Age Universe, I think. Group's called. Anyway, I was in there and we were talking about, of course, the Mage Templar thing. Guy was playing Dragon Age 2 and he brought it up, you know, who should I side with type of deal. And there really is no right answer in that one. They're both kind of tripping. Anybody who's played that game already knows that. But, you know, it's like the age-old debate in Thetis.
Andraste sent you to save the world. If it'll help save lives and bring peace, I'll be the first to believe.
I don't have to worry about you falling at my feet in worship, then. That has been tiresome.
I believe we must each attend to our own lives to find salvation.
Are you working for the Mage Rebellion?
Mages are children of the Maker, no less than the rest of us. They struggle no less with questions of faith.
Does that mean you support their freedom?
Given a choice between the Circle and death, most mages willingly gave up some small freedoms for safety. But the pendulum swings, and now it seems any restraint is too much. I think they should have a chance to prove they deserve freedom.
I don't see any other priests in the village. Where is everybody?
The Magister had the others escorted out for their own safety, but I refused. He can throw me out if he wants. Until then, I tend to my flock.
What are your feelings on the mages working with Tevinter?
The Imperium burned on Draste. Since then, we have led 4 exalted marches against them. Yet in all those marches, they still acknowledged the Maker. Now I speak of him and the Magisters laugh. Something has happened, and I dread to learn what.
I will leave you to your duties.
Make us speed you, my child.
Well, I gotta respect anyone who's so down with their beliefs that they'll stay behind even if it means their death or getting exiled or whatever.
May I help you?
Are you a Chantry sister?
A lay sister only. I work here to help the poor and extend the Maker's kindness to those who need it. It is very busy work, especially in these times, but let me know if I can ever help you.
I found the letter you sent a Templar named Corin.
What? Shit. You can't prove anything. A letter from a rogue Templar. Nobody is going to care. So, what do you intend to do?
Let's see. Impersonating a sister, smuggling, dishonoring Chantry roads. I can think of more if you like. Or you could put your skills to use for the Inquisition.
And you'd keep quiet? Nobody else has to know?
That will depend on how honest your efforts are on our behalf.
All right, I'm in. Seems like the Inquisition is the safer bet these days.
Alright, so there's first of our agents for Leliana. One notch towards our Deft Hands perk. Sweet. We'll get a couple more agents later. Alright, and another reason to have Sarah with me. A few more brownie points with her. If I'd had Solus with me, believe it or not, Solus disapproves of that. Discovered that. I don't know why he would care one way or the other, but apparently he doesn't like underground stuff or whatever. Bit of a Boy Scout or something. Alright, so we'll head back here. We have a couple quests now here at the lake. Go find Lord Wolseley and go see what we can do with these Blood Lotus things. Apparently, if we offer these Blood Lotus flowers, there's some spirit of the lake that wants them or something. Alright, now, I was going to pose a question to you guys. It was more of a thought. With the mages, if, okay, let's see. How to put this. Alright. When you take a, say, 6-year-old girl that discovers, you know, she has magic, right? You tear her away from her parents to never see her family again, blah, 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 and throw her into the circle like a prison, which Kirkwall was an extreme example. According to Vivian, in this game, the circles in general are actually too liberal. You know, they give the mages too much freedom. It's not like a prison at all. And, well, you see what happens is they go ahead and rebel because they're practicing their blood magic on their own, outside of the circle and doing all that other stuff, but whatever. Okay, so they say, you know, it's wrong to take a 6-year-old child away from their parents, blah, blah, blah. Although they may be better off, honestly, in the circle with their formal education and whatever, depending on their background. But regardless of the case, all right, it is almost guaranteed that even with the circle, especially without, but even with the circle, that 6-year-old girl, when she comes into her own as a mage and finds some excuse to freak out and go all emo and destroy the world and kill everybody and raise demons and do what mages do every time, you see it just repeated over and over and over. Well, they were pushed to do it. Well, this person made them do it. No one makes them do that shit. It's never been an answer before. Killing everybody has never been the solution. If they think they're oppressed, oh, you hurt my feelings, so I'm going to be responsible for the death of millions of people once I summon all these demons. Well, I'm sorry. The cost is too high. Worrying about that one mage, regardless of whether she's a 6-year-old girl or a 60-year-old woman, doesn't matter. Worrying about her one feelings, that one person's feelings, at the expense of who knows how many people that are going to die because you let that one live, you say, well, it almost begs to reason that, in a sense, exterminating or aborting mages would almost answer that problem. Of course, you know, you obviously couldn't get them all, and that's obviously an extreme case. I don't think anyone could live with their conscience doing that, although it would save a lot more lives in the long run. I'm sure the feelings of that farmer down the road and his whole family and his daughter that are going to die at the hands of the demon that this 6-year-old girl is eventually going to raise up to go just kill everybody, okay? I'm sure they think their feelings are just as important as that little girl's, and they're twice as innocent as she is. Now, she's born with this curse, if that's what you want to call it, of magic. She has no choice in the matter, you know, she has that. She can't help it. Next thing you know, she's in a sense, she feels penalized for it. Of course, they grow up with that resentment, and then they, you know, have this issue. So they have the circles to bring the mages up with some kind of reverence and some kind of understanding of the use of their magic and what to and not do with it, and so on and so forth. And you know, it works to an extent with a lot of them, unless they find a personal reason to go do their own thing and go apostate or leave, you know, and do what they do. And we saw examples of that in Origins. We saw extreme example of that at the end of Dragon Age 2, where if a mage doesn't find an excuse for themselves to go destroy the whole world and blow stuff up, then they'll use somebody else's cause. You know, the guy next to you. Well, you hurt his feelings, so I'm going to kill all of you because you hurt his feelings, because I can't find any excuse of my own. Whatever the case may be, they're going to do what they do, all right? And I even brought up the example way back when the first mages, they decided they were going to go show God himself how things should be run down here, and they were going to go just take over heaven their own selves because they knew how things should be run. Blah, blah, blah. And that's man and his arrogance, you know. And there was no Templars that pushed them to do that. Okay, there weren't circles and Templars and all that stuff at the time. Of course, that came not too long after all that. I don't know the exact order of the histories and stuff back then. But all I'm saying is, what was their excuse, you know, for doing what they did? And I say that's just man just being rotten by nature, okay? You have power, and you're going to use it to play God, and man's not smart enough for that, okay? Our best efforts to solve our problems always result in doubling the problem that we're trying to fix. That's the only proof I've seen throughout history, in real life and in this game, okay? Man's best efforts to solve things. And so you say, well, what is the solution? And then the argument came up, well, what you need is a system in place that can train the mages, raise them up, to instruct them how to morally and righteously control their magic and use it, you know, to serve man and what they say it's designed for and all that. And I said, that's great. I say, when you find that system, put it in place. Then who's going to keep that system in place, assign people into that system, and I'm just sure that nobody's corruption, greed, politics, power, lust for power, and all that is going to come into play ever. For the rest of history, nothing's going to come into play like that that's going to corrupt that system. It's going to stay pure and pristine, and everything's just going to be fine and dandy. Because everybody's born right, and some people just become bad. No, there are bad apples. There are what you call assholes. There are people you can't reason with. You can't deal with them, except with a sword or a gun. Okay, sorry. There are people like that. That's why we have wars. Because there are people you're not gonna fix. You're not gonna make them right. You're not gonna make them show any kind of sanity or reason. All right. There are people that do bad things just because they want to, because that's their nature. That's how they are. And cause and effect is kind of irrelevant. The guy down the street who just died as a result of this guy, he doesn't really care what made that guy that way. All I know is an innocent person died because of that person. You know, that's the reasoning there. All the whys and the psychology, but who cares? Doesn't even matter, right?
Templars have endangered countless innocent lives. But if I go to the crossroads to help, I might end up in danger myself. I doubt those refugees would risk their lives for a knife here. Why should I risk mine for them?
Save yourself, and all the villagers will remember is that you hid, even though they did the same. If you help the refugees, they may not love you, but they will hold their tongues before calling you knife here.
All right. If the Inquisition soldiers are there, I might be safer regardless. I'll see you at the crossroads soon. Just give me a moment to gather my things.
All right. So there we go, having Souls with us. Anyway, so that was kind of like my side of it. And I was kind of just being an advocate because I'm not really one or the other. Because I mean, when it comes down to it, you know, I can say what I want one way or the other. But if I'm friends with a mage and that mage has to go to the circle and get torn out of my life, whether it be a relative or a wife or whatever, I'd be heartbroken. So I mean, I get it. I'm just saying is, you know, if you put a solution into place, who's going to control that solution? If you have to find a system that works.
Lord Wolseley came back. He says you convinced him. Here, for all your trouble.
Running around in his pen there. Anyway, if you find a system that works, how are you going to keep that working? What I'm saying is human corruption is going to enter in one way or another. It's just going to happen. Well, that's kind of a pessimistic view. I'm looking at facts, experience. Look at history. Nothing's changed. There's nothing new. People aren't any different. They're not magically all better now, and we're all just fine and dandy and all living on cloud nine and you know, having pillow fights and giggling and laughing all the time. That's not the world. Okay, people are assholes now like they were thousands of years ago. No different in this game, no different anywhere else. You can only draw off those experiences. So, looking back, I say, you know, pattern of man's behavior is at some point even the best system, the best answer solution you come up with, even if it works at the time, it's not going to stand the test of time. It's certainly not going to stand the test of morality. You know, once somebody's lead or greed or lust or something like that comes in, that system's going to be corrupted and you're going to wind up with something probably worse than what you started with. You're going to wind up with more problems than what you initially solved in the first place. And that's just the way it goes. And I think, really, kind of the object lesson here, this is what I'm getting, is that mankind isn't going to save himself. Bottom line is given all the tools in the world to work with, given all the power. Like, look at mages. They don't have just all the power in the world to do something with. They have power from the Fade, too, to work with. And they can't solve any problems. They're the ones making all the problems. To put it bluntly, they started with the Blights, and they've been going downhill ever since. How many thousands, millions of people have died because of mages, specifically, because of their emo little problems? You hurt my feelings, so I'm going to destroy the world. Whatever. You know, seriously. And it becomes inexcusable, and eventually you just get sick of both sides. Well, the Templars are mean. Okay, you know, they've got power and they abuse it too. They're no better, but they're certainly no worse. You know, it's a lose-lose type deal. So I think bottom line is, regardless of what you have here, mankind is not going to solve. He started this. He's shown his what would you say, weakness or fallibility, his inability to fix anything. You know, his best efforts result in more problems. So anyway, not trying to be preachy here. It was a neat debate. You know, I mean, it's a deep subject. It's an imaginary universe here that they've created, but it's real world problems. I mean, it's, you know, people aren't any different, you know, whether you put them in this imaginary setting or a real life setting. That's what I was kind of seeing. I think that's amazing. I think that the really good games like this create stuff like that. Kind of like the Imperials and the Stormcloaks in Skyrim. Same thing there. You can go on for hours, you know, debating one side or the other, pros and cons, who's moral, who's not, who's right, who's wrong, who's a coward, who's not. I mean, just back and forth, and it's cool that you can have that outside the game. It keeps it alive. It makes it more fun, I think. Makes it more interesting, although some of those debates can get kind of heated. I admit it. Even myself, I can get a little tenacious on one side. No, damn it. You need to see my side of it, and, you know, vice versa and stuff. But that's, you know, then look back on it and I say, oh, that's actually really cool. All right. So anyway, we got questing done there, and I came back here because I want to turn in what missions have already been completed and go ahead and start a few more. I mean, might as well, you know, while the clock's ticking. Might as well get some of this out of the way. Who knows how many more of these we're going to have during the game.
To work?
Lots and lots and lots. Alright, now I can fast travel to the hinterlands from right here. But just a little trick is, this actually saves a little time. Go ahead and leave the war table, and then come out here and hit the map from the world itself, and then I can choose a particular campsite. I can choose a location. The default location is going to be right there, but now I can go straight back to Redcliffe and save myself an extra fast travel or a bunch of walking, you know. I think there's one more conversational opportunity to earn some brownie points with both Varric and Sarah. All right, and we will get to that. We will go see what else there is to see. Go see if we can talk to Fiona. Thanks for watching, guys. Listen to me. That was really cool. If you got any comments, leave them down there in the comment section below. If you want to subscribe, hit that button over my head. And if you want to catch up with the rest of my videos, click those boxes on the left, and I will catch you guys later. Bye-bye.